Welcome. So I'm just starting a new series where instead of just learning a language, but let's make something in Python. So I have already other videos on AI ML on this channel, but I'm just starting a new series so that if even if you have basics of Python, that's what I would recommend. Then why don't we make something out of it so that with Python, let's solve someone's problem. And here, I think we are going to solve the problem of photographer. So the photographer who takes pictures and then all the pictures are piling on her machine, and then we want to organize by looking at photos. Okay, this photo was taken on 2022 in November month. This photo was taken in 2024 January month. And then how about organizing that photo into those respective folders? So that folder might tell year 2022, 2024. So let's begin. Just walk along with me where every new video I'll try to solve some problem, and why together, I mean, me and you, we both can solve and make some new applications with Python. So let's begin. So what I'm doing is, so let me just show quickly how the program will look like. I mean, what are we going to build in this video? So let me directly run the program. So I think I'm here. Uh, don't look at the source code now, but it's very simple. And again, as I keep telling, I am also learning, so I'm not the expert, not like foolproof error handling, not like proper programming coding practice. But that's where the journey is, right? So I'm just taking you along with me so that together we learn something. I share my learning journey. You do together with me, and you also learn, right? So that's the beauty of it. And on top of it, we solve some problem with Python. So now back to the photographer problem. Let's do it. So before that, so let me show the folder. Yeah, so basically here, if you see, this is the folder, right? It's just having photos. Imagine in real life, it could be tons of photos. So all these are photos are there. And if I open any photo, so yeah, this is one photo, this is another photo. All these are different photos, or this all different could be different memories. But we want to organize in a proper way so that the photos go to the directory in the year or in the month when it was taken. And look at the photo file naming as well, right? So here it's like random name, but now let's make something cool. So let me run the program. Yeah, it was already there. Done. And you see, so now I can see six folders. So which means some photos were taken in 2015. So I'm not cutting and paste. Instead, I'm just copying and paste so that I can rerun the program. You can just cut and paste. So by looking at the folder structure, I can see some photos were taken in 2015, some photos were captured in 2016, some in 2017, and so on. If I open 2017, then some photos were actually taken in the month of June in 2017, some in August. So now it names so nicely, right? So it gives you by looking at the photo location and by looking at the photo image name, right? So I'm renaming the photos as well. So this photo was taken on in the year 2017 and in the month of June, and 21st was the date. It was taken by in the afternoon 3 p.m. 1 minute and 28 seconds. So let's make it together. So what I'm going to do is let me just remove it, and I'll directly show you how this is done. Now before I walk you through the code, let's try to understand how this was actually done. So what I'm saying is, yeah, I think, yeah. So basically, let me try to show you the approach, what has been taken, right? So sorry for switching to different screens. Yeah, so basically, to organize photos in this way, uh, we need to basically get the EXIF data of the photo. What I mean by EXIF data, so let's understand that. So for example, yeah, I think I closed at my location. Sorry, not here. I go here. So for example, if I open this photo, and by the way, I'm on Mac, so I'm not sure on Windows, but there should be certainly way to check the EXIF data. So for this image, I open this EXIF data. Can you see over here? So this is the EXIF tab, right? So this photo and this EXIF data corresponds to this photo. Inside the EXIF data, you will see the various tags and the corresponding tag values. We are just interested on the date and time. So this photo was taken on 30th August 2017 year, and this is the time. So this is what we just need to do. So our program, what program is going to do? It's going to loop through all the photos one by one in for loop, and then it's going to extract EXIF data. Now once EXIF data is available, the third step comes. It's going to look for specific tag inside this EXIF, right? Because EXIF data contains like a list, right? It contains this. But no, we are just interested in date time. So it's going to look for specific tag which says date time. And then we just get the date time value, and we have the photo image file name itself, right? And then accordingly, we would be just creating directory structure. So I think that's the approach which you are going to do. Now to do this, the Python magic will take help of Pillow. What I'm saying, Pillow. Pillow is not the one which is behind. No. So Python is going to use the Pillow library. So you need to install the Pillow library and then you're done. So let me show you the program. So I'll just minimize so I can reopen it. Yeah. So this is the Pillow module. So you can just go to the requirement.txt file and you can just install it, right? So this is the module. By the way, you can follow my readme.md. So feel free to clone my repo. My GitHub repository is my GitHub repo link is present in this video description. Just clone my repo, play around with this code and create something new and solve someone's problem. So here you just go through the readme.md file. Here it says how to install dependencies and everything. I am just using, as I mentioned, the Pillow, one of the module. We will check later on. So let's go to over here. And here I'm importing from the Pillow, I'm importing image class, then I'm importing tags. I'll tell you why. Date, time, OS, and shuttle to copy the files. So when you clone this repo, you just need to do one thing. So basically, you just need to change the directory variable to the location where your photos are stored. So for me, this is the location. For you, you just change it where you are storing the photos. But make sure before you run the program, your each and every photo should have the EXIF data. Then only this will work, right? And what we are doing, so this is EXIF data function. Let me close it. So this is a directory. So the second step is how the program is getting run, right? So your directory variable is set. Now what we are doing is that we are calling this get EXIF data function by passing this directory. So the code will jump over here and this function will return me a dictionary. Uh, it's I would not say it's dictionary, but when you look at the Pillow documentation, it says kind of, I think, multi-hash mapping. It's kind of dictionary only, where you can get where you can extract key and values, right? So get when you call this get exif data function, the get exif data function is going to return a dictionary, which is nothing but data. So this is data is nothing but dictionary. So I'll just tell you a quick example. So data is like, as I mentioned, kind of dictionary. So what it will be having, like, image 001, right? This is my file. And when this was taken, so it will tell me, for example, 2024, that's the year. This is month, March, and this is date. What time, for example, it was taken on in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, 10 minutes and 34 seconds. Then it will go for another element underscore 002 dot jpg, and when it was taken 2024 uh, in the month of August and 23rd August, for example, right? And of course there would be time as well, right? But I hope you're getting it, right? And then there will be hour, minute, second, and so on, right? So I hope you got it. What the data will look like. So in the data we will have like this values. So for every image we would be having so image as a key, and we would be having the date and timestamp extracted from EXIF data. Now, once we have this information, I'll come on, I will come on it when like how to extract EXIF data. But to make it simplify, I'm going step by step. So imagine you have dictionary or data, you got it like this. So by this time, when you call this function, you have data like this, right? You have date and time in this format. But remember, this is a string. So what I'm doing in this next step, I'll be converting this string to the date object because I want to extract this guy and I want to extract this guy. Basically, I want to extract year and the month. So accordingly, I can create those directory structure, right? So that's why I have defined this date format. Yeah, so this is percent %y is corresponds to this year. This is month and this is date. This is hour, minute, seconds, hour, minute, seconds. So we would be using the Python datetime function, I think strp time, if I recall. So what I'm going to do is, so now I'm iterating all the items of data, right? So I'm iterating like for this, then this. That's what says. So where photo is nothing but your actual image file, and timestamp is nothing but the string value timestamp. And now what I'm doing is, here I'm converting the timestamp into the date object. That's what it does. And now I'm constructing the target directory path which I want to create. So which means, if you see, I have just put up example below, right? So target directory is nothing but dir plus. So dir is your main folder path, right? The dir variable, if you recall. Sorry, yeah, this is your main variable where your all photos are hosted. So that's your dir. Then within dir, I am adding the year and month, right? So if you look back, right? So this is same example I just created over here. So like D is nothing but actually data. So data will have like this. So what we are doing is that we are trying to create a directory full-blown path which we would be creating. So before creating directory, I'm just trying to create a full directory path. So for example, so and so photo, for example, image 001 was taken in the year 2015 in the month of 11, that's in the month of November, right? So that's what I'm doing. So this is your directory path. And then I'm adding the year over here and month over here. And then I'm adding slash, sorry, right? So this is the full path I am giving. Now, what I need to do is I just need to give this full path target directory variable over here. So here I'm just checking if the directory is not existing, then only I want to create this directory, right? So here I'm checking, okay, directory is not existing. Then use the OS modules function called make dirs. So with make dirs, I'm passing all individual records for every photo iteration. So for the first time, I will get the corresponding photos this path. Then in the second image, I would be getting the second location, right? So accordingly, it will make the directories. Basically, it will make the directory and subdirectory, everything together. So you do not need to like create a parent directory, then you need to create a subdirectory. No, just if you give the single path, it will go to your photos location. Within that, it will create a 2015 as a folder, and within that, it will create a 11 just by single command. So far, I hope you are following with me. And now, so by this point, by this line, the folders are created, but they are empty. Now we need to do two things. The first thing, we need to basically copy those files which are, I mean, which are massive files, right? Which are img001, img002. We need to copy those files from photos folder or from your dir folder to the respective directories what we have created. So that's what we are doing. So here I'm just creating one variable, that is source path. Here, I mean, we are just using os.path.join. It's basically trying to create a path including the file name. So which means like this is the one, right? So here I'm joining the dir. So this is my dir, right? It's like dir variable what you set up, right? So source path is actually nothing but, sorry, is actually nothing but dir plus I'm joining. I'm just using this join function so that it will be kind of operating system independent, so you can create the whole file path. So this is up to dir plus I'm joining it with photo is nothing but your image, right? So img, for example, 001 dot jpg. So this is what means source path. So this is the image. Now imagine all these steps are happening for every photo, right? For every image file. So for the first iteration, it would be like this. And what is the target path? Let's see. So target path is nothing but target directory. Target directory is this. For example, this is the target directory, right? So this is target directory. Plus I am adding the year, right? So target directory is this. Plus I am adding year, right? So here when the photo was taken, it was 2015, right? That's why we created a folder accordingly. 2015, then hyphen, then month, which is the month 11, and then okay, we need to get day. So day is like, for example, it was taken on 23. Okay, and after the day I am adding underscore, so let's put underscore. For example, when it was taken, hour, minute, second. So all this data is, we already have available this data, right, from the EXIF data, right? It's there in timestamp, what I'm trying to say, right? So for example, 13, then 13 hours, 12 minutes and 45 seconds. So and dot jpg. Why dot jpg? If I scroll down, yeah, so this is my full target path. So what I need to do is simply I need to copy. So what I need to do is, so here I'm just checking one more time whether the photo, whatever I'm trying to copy, hope it is a file, it is not a directory. That's what I'm just doing. And I'm using shuttle libraries copy file function, and I'm giving source path and target path, which means for this iteration, first iteration, it's going to copy this guy to this location, right? And this is my file name. So this to this. So hope you are clear on it, right? What I'm trying to tell you. And now the moment when I run it, right? And if I go to over here, one as a last moment, you see that's how it does. So it's copying. So all these images it run one by one. It got the EXIF data. Based on the EXIF data, it extracted date and timestamp, created folders. And within that, all those images are renamed accordingly. So now let me try to show you the one last step, which I did not show you earlier. That is how to get EXIF data. So it's simple. So EXIF data, as I mentioned, I'm returning a one dictionary, which was a data variable, right? Which was holding data variable. And in this dictionary, every dictionary will have, elements like key and value, right? So key is nothing but your image file and value is nothing but the timestamp. So here, when we go into EXIF data function, first is empty dictionary I'm creating. Then I'm listing the directory, which means I'm listing all the contents of this directory. Now when I list, now I'm iterating for all the single image or for all the single file of this directory. Now I don't want to get EXIF data for the hidden directories, right? So I'm just avoiding, any file name which is starting with dot or anything. So it could be file name, it could be directory as well, right? So when I do the listing of this directory, now this directory can have further folders, right? I'm just telling directory folders, both are interchangeable, I mean the same. So I'm avoiding the directories. So here I'm just checking whatever the file that I'm processing, hope it is a file and it is not starting with dot. So I'm avoiding those hidden folders. And then I'm constructing the file path. So file path is nothing but I'm just going with directory, this dir slash full image name, right? So that's my file path. And I'm simply using this image class of pillow library, this guy, right? I am just calling open method. So it will basically try to read the data and it will give me another image class. So this is my image class. So once I have image class, then I can call the getEXIF method, which will give me the whole EXIF data. Now, why I tell you EXIF data is a kind of dictionary, it's coming from this, uh, from here. If you're here, so this is the pillow library documentation. So, and here, if you search with get EXIF, right, that's the method I am calling. So you will land it over here, image.getEXIF, that's what you are doing. It will return me the EXIF as a data structure. Now, what is EXIF? EXIF is kind of mutable mapping. To me, it's like mutable mapping. I'm still learning Python, but mutable mapping is again kind of mapping, right? So key and values mapping. So whenever you call get EXIF, you get EXIF, and you can iterate over all the items of EXIF like you do in a dictionary. So that's why I was doing that way. Now there is one more thing. So when you have all the EXIF data in this variable, now that's where in the very beginning of the video I just mentioned that EXIF data would be having a lot of tag, right? And we are just interested in specific tag. So what I mean here, what I'm doing is now I'm trying to iterate all the tag ID from the EXIF data. So for any single image which you are iterating, for that single image there would be multiple tag ID. So what I mean by tag ID, so let me, yeah, I had already printed. So let me do that way for you. And let me comment this guy. Yeah, so this is what I am printing. So here I am printing tag ID and tag. So this is like a tag ID and tag ID and tag. So for every image you would be having make, model, software, orientation, sorry, date and time. So the tag ID, as you can see, it's not like human friendly. It's just kind of number, right? So what I'm doing is that this line. So here we are using for every tag ID, we are just interested to get the information for the date time, right? But to get the date time, before we do that, what we are doing is that for every tag ID, so for every tag ID, right? What I mean by for every, it's going in a loop. Now for every tag ID, we are getting the human friendly name by passing this to the tags function and we get this value. So we pass this and we get corresponding this human friendly name. We pass this, we get this name. We pass this and we get this name. I'm just repeating so that you get idea what I mean. And this is what this line does. So I'm just using tags. Tags, where it comes? Tags is this guy. It is again another module. I mean, it's coming from Pillow, which we need to import. So tags is also like a dictionary to me, looks like, because you are calling the get method, right? So you got the tag human friendly name. I'll just comment it out. And then we are just interested for the tag called date time, right? So we just need to check, okay, if it's a date time, then we need to get from this EXIF data, we need to get the corresponding data. Now, what do I mean by data? So let's see. So let me print tag and I would say tag ID. Now here you will understand what I'm doing. Sorry, tag. And now, so let me clear. Now let's see what it will print. So for every image, this is what it's doing. So for every image, it is printing tag ID, which is 306, human friendly name, date time, and it is printing the data. Data is nothing but the timestamp. This is date and timestamp. That's what we were converting into the date object, right? You can connect, right? Then we converted this to date object, then we extracted year, then we month, then we created those directories and copy the files. And ultimately we are adding adding that information to the dictionary which we created as a empty. And now for every iteration we are simply adding those items as a file name, which is nothing but the original image file name, and the corresponding data is nothing but this guy. So that's how we build the dictionary structure. I think maybe it was a longer video, but I just want to make sure that you get some idea that Python can really do a wonder, can really do a magic. So if you want to follow along with me, just make sure that you do homework as well if you are interested. So by the end of this video, now let me tell you, why don't you create a single program where you just pick any folder and in that folder create some 3 to 4 files. Now each file should have some 3 to 4 lines, and now you make a program which will iterate to all the files in that folder, and your program needs to open each file and program needs to count the word in that file. So if file is having like 4 words, so you rename the file like 4words.txt. I mean numerical 4words.txt, something like that. If your file is having like 10 words, so you rename that file like 10 words, right? So basically I'm trying to make you practice. If you are like me, if you are a student like me who wants to learn, so just make this program and comment it, comment with your GitHub public repo. Maybe I can just check it, and then comment if you like this content, and comment if you I'm saying comment many times because comment also that if you do not understand something so that I can explain it more clearly. And yeah, do code, make something, and it should be really useful to someone. So I'll keep posting new video with some new module or new logic. Till that time, see you and happy coding. Make something again, I repeat. I think that's all.